So you haven't had hypnosis yet and you want to know exactly what hypnosis entails. So let me show you how you hypnotize yourself at least twice a day without you realizing. Make sure you stay to the end to understand how. Welcome back to another video. I'm a hypnotist and I'm going to tell you exactly what hypnosis entails so that you can understand if hypnosis is for you. Now, first thing first, does hypnosis work for everyone? Yes. Will it always work for everyone? No. Now what I mean by that, because that sounds very contradictory, is the fact that hypnosis does work for anyone, anywhere, anytime. But hypnosis is not right for anyone, anywhere, anytime. It works, but it's not necessarily the best protocol for everyone. For example, if you have epilepsy, I would always go against hypnotizing someone with epilepsy, just because of the potential implications that it can have. I tend to steer clear from it. Pretty much every other hypnotist will as well, but if you don't have epilepsy, then will hypnosis work for you? Yes. What is it you're struggling with right now? Do you have a fear? Do you have any anxiety? Do you struggle with anything? Because hypnosis can wipe it away very quickly, very simply. All hypnosis is a relaxed state of focus, a relaxed, concentrating state of focus. So you've already been hypnotized. Everyone says, or a lot of people say, oh, I've never been hypnotized, it's never gonna work. It's like, well, you hypnotize yourself at least twice a day without you realizing this. Have you ever read a really good book or watched a very good film that you've been enticed into so much that time disappears? If your answer is yes, for me it was Endgame. Oh, gives me the chills. If the answer is yes, then you've been hypnotized. You've been so focused on something that the suggestions in the film actually make you feel slightly different. For example, whenever I watch any Avengers film, I always come out wanting to be that character. Whether it's Iron Man, whether it's Hulk, whether it's Black Panther, whether it's Thor, I always have those suggestions in my mind that allow me to feel empowered or feel the energy of that character. Reason being is I was so focused, effectively hypnotized to the screen, that when I came away there were still suggestions in my mind to be this person. Now they're not directly suggesting you to be this person, so it's quite different to actually having hypnosis with someone, but this is an effective way of understanding hypnosis in general. And the same with the book as well. If you've been enticed into the pages, then effectively you're hypnotized by that book. Have you ever driven a car? If you do drive, this is if you do drive, have you ever driven a car, got somewhere and been like, oh my God, where'd the last 10 minutes just go? Reason being is you're hypnotized to the road, and it's actually called highway hypnosis. That's what we call it in the industry. But effectively, that is what it is. Your mind is working on autopilot, the subconscious mind. If you understand about hypnosis, about the subconscious mind, it's working on autopilot completely. So if it's working on autopilot, it just takes over. You don't have to think about driving. And the great example is when you started driving, this is for if you do drive, obviously. If you don't, imagine when you first rode a bike or something like that, or even just started to do anything for the first time, a new social media app. I'll use driving as the example, but put it into your terms if you're watching this video. Let's say you're driving down the road. When you first drive a manual car, this is what it was like for me. Right, foot on the clutch, into first gear. Right, check your mirrors, are your mirrors? Okay, slowly off the clutch, a bit of gas, then you've got to go into second gear, foot on the clutch down, and there's so much going on in your mind that your mind sort of goes on overdrive and goes, can't really keep up, and sort of goes into a bit of a meltdown. That's why when you first drive, I got into quite a few arguments or altercations with my mother because she originally taught me how to drive. Love you, Mum. Now it's just one whole process. I can get in any car, any size, obviously not a lorry, any car, any size, and I can drive it very easily because I've got the skill of being able to drive. My subconscious mind just takes over. I don't have to think about all this stuff. And I can. I'm not saying I do, and I'm not saying you should. But when I used to be a bit of a nightmare, I used to drive and roll cigarettes. I used to drive and go on my phone and stuff like that. So it's possible. Now, it's not a good thing that you should do, but it shows the power of the subconscious mind that it can take over. Because what our subconscious mind knows and does is what our body will act out. For example, if my subconscious mind believes that I am confident, therefore my body will act confident, because the body and the subconscious mind are the exact same thing. What your subconscious mind believes, your body will just act out. It's kind of, they're working in tandem with each other. The subconscious mind has a belief, the body just acts out that belief. Subconscious mind says, I have anxiety, therefore the body is more hunched over. It's always worrying about what to do. Your eyes are going everywhere, blah, 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 blah. Versus, I believe that I'm a successful entrepreneur. My body holds myself in that way. I act in that way. I walk in that way. I talk in that way. I carry myself that way. That is how the subconscious mind then reacts and takes your body to places you want to go and you desire to go. But it all starts with the subconscious mind. Imagine it like this. Your subconscious mind is a hard drive. Imagine it as an external, but it's more of an internal hard drive. It's a hard drive with unlimited storage in it. So even though your subconscious mind has unlimited storage, that doesn't mean you retain every piece of information that you receive. For example, when we listen to something once, we're probably not going to remember it. For example, if I tell you this once, Max Hindle's first car was a Ford Fiesta. If there's no context around it, you probably won't remember that in a week's time. Now, if I told you this quite a few times, your mind's going to remember it somewhere. And a great example I can always give, the hard drive analogy, is the fact that if you went to school, what color was your first school uniform? What color was your first car? What color was your first bike? What was the name of your first crush? What was the name of your first kiss? You may have to think for a second, but the information is in there. And the way I explain it is literally like this. Going through, on your computer, going through different, going through your computer and going through different files on your computer to find exactly what it is you're looking for. For example, if I go onto my files here, I can go to YouTube, new type. Then I can go to better quality video, meditations, and then I've got a list of, that one's only got 2 meditations in it. But there you go, I'm going through the files to find the information that I want to find. So when our subconscious mind knows something, we just have to go through the filing system and find it. That piece of information that you want, the reason why you feel so scared sometimes, the reason why you have the anxiety, you can go through and figure out why it's there, how it got caused, what started it, where it comes from, and what you can do to now begin to change it. Because when you hit it at a subconscious level, everything can start to change. Reason being is 5% of our life is run consciously. I can say I want to be happy, healthy, wealthy, abundant, free, and fearless. But if I say that with 5% of my mind, 5% of my power, but that other 95% says I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm poor, I'm broke, I'm useless, 95% has more power over 5. And the best way I can explain it is literally, have you ever seen this analogy here of the iceberg? I will pop it up here. Effectively, you only see the top 5% of the iceberg, but you don't see what goes on underneath the iceberg. Now that is the same with our mentality. This was obviously based on sort of like the success principles. You don't see all the failures, the hard comings and all that kind of stuff in this specific image. But what you don't see, or what you do see, is their success. But you don't see the amount of times they failed, the amount of businesses they started, the amount of relationships they went through, the amount of this, the amount of that, before they got to the success. And the exact same thing is with our mind as well. If we can shift all of that 95% that is underwater, all of that 95% to feel happy, abundant, free, worthy, prosperous, confident, kind, loving, amazing, then that 5% is just going to change as a habit, because the 95% is the body. The 95% is how the body acts out. So if you start with the subconscious mind, you're just going to get faster results. And I always say to people, what I did in a 3-year window sped up in a 3-month process when I learned hypnosis, specifically self-hypnosis. When I learned to hypnotize myself, what took me 3 years to understand, comprehend, and emotionally feel shifted completely when I went to the 3 months of hypnosis with myself. Also understand that the subconscious mind is emotional, never logical. If there's a fight between emotion and logic, emotion always wins. So for example, I'll act out a little skit. I want to go and stand on stage and speak in front of people because that's what I'd love to do. But last time you did that, it was really scary and I don't like it. And next time you do it again, then I'm going to be really, really scared and I don't want to be scared, Max. But think about it, nothing bad's actually going to happen. We're not going to feel real pain. We're not going to actually die from doing this, are we? Well, yeah, but what you don't understand is I'm really, really scared. Fine, you win. Let's just not do it. Ta-da! Sign me up, Hollywood. Effectively, what's happening there is emotion versus logic. Emotion always wins. Emotion is like a child stamping his feet saying, I want the ice cream, I want the ice cream, I want the ice cream. The parent going, fine, if I get you the ice cream, will you shut up? Effectively, the logical mind said, fine, if I don't go up on stage, will you shut up? That used to be my massive issue. I used to always do that and just shy away from everything because I thought something bad was going to happen. Whereas now I love it. I enjoy it. I really do. Because of self-hypnosis and I programmed my own mind, subconscious mind. And the way we actually get into a state of hypnosis is called bypassing the critical factor. It sounds very fancy. It's really not. Effectively, the way that I explain this is, imagine the gate of your mind, you can roam around in the conscious, but when you get to the subconscious, there's a guard standing there like this. Or imagine it like a dog actually, standing there. All you have to do is throw a tennis ball for this dog, and it allows you to walk in. Throwing that tennis ball is what's called the hypnotic induction. And then you can walk into the subconscious mind and have a browse. You can see what's going on, you can see what programs are there, you can see why you do certain things and in the way that you are, and why you are the way that you are. So in order to truly change our life, we don't have to use hypnosis. But I just say, why not speed up your process? Hypnosis speeds up your process. It really does. What took me 3 years, I did in 3 months. When I work with people over a 7-week period, the stuff that they know then sticks in their mind and it stays as a subconscious program. Now, don't get me wrong, no one is perfect. We slip out in and out of states all the time, including myself. So don't ever think that you have to be perfect in life. But what it does is it helps me get back into those states again. For example, I did go from eating ridiculously healthy to eating very bad and not working out as much, which I lost weight because I wasn't eating much, but I was just eating crap. And I wasn't working out, so the muscle mass just dropped. But when I started to get myself back into it, through understanding why am I being this way, why am I doing this, I can start to be aware of new and different things in my life because of hypnosis, because I've allowed myself to reprogram my subconscious mind. That doesn't mean I don't slip from time to time, because we do, but what it does is it reminds us when we do slip to say, you're going back. Turn it back around and go the way you were going, because that way you were going is the best way. And also know that it's kind of good to sometimes have that step back when you take 2 steps forward. Not all the time, but sometimes just taking a step back can actually make you realize, actually, I don't want to go this way, or this works better for me, why don't I try this? Sometimes we do need it. So never just go against the grain and say, I have to and need to be perfect every day, all day, because it's not true. We don't need to be or have to be perfect every day and all day. But what we do need to and have to be is our best self as much as possible. And that comes from understanding our mind, understanding ourselves. I will always say to anyone, what is the most prized possession in life? Some people may say a house, a car, a person. No, everything is irrelevant without our mental state, even our health. Now, them two I would combine at the same level. But for me, mental is so important. So important. I really can't stress this enough. You deserve and you are worth way more than you think. Way more than you think. But what you're getting right now to yourself is, well, no, I don't really deserve to spend that much money on myself because my mind, it'll go away. Why bother playing that game? Your mind is priceless. You, my friend, are priceless. Start worrying about the price less because you are priceless. You deserve it at the end of the day. And if you want to make those changes, you can. So if you do want hypnosis, and I've already sent you this video, I may send this video to some people who have asked me what hypnosis actually is and what it entails, watch it through, let me know, and let's get to work. Let's do some work together. Let's make these changes in your life with the power of hypnosis. If you have already just watched this video from YouTube specifically, or Instagram, wherever you're seeing this video, send me a message on Instagram or head over to my website, www.maxhindle.com, and let's have a quantum reading for free. Subscribe to be hypnotized.